While the president's opponents are observing the traditional truce that accompanies inaugurations, can Mr. Obama hope for a new tone once his second term gets underway in earnest? Let's talk about that with Democratic National Committee Chairperson Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning to you both. Thanks for having me.
Congresswoman, just to start with, I mean, we've heard this proposal coming from the Republicans on extending the debt ceiling at least for a 3-month period. Is this any sign of hope in terms of cooperation, or is this more just maneuvering?
I mean, I think, unfortunately, this is probably a sign that the Republicans realized that politically it was horribly damaging for them to continue to threaten to jeopardize the full faith and credit of the United States. Now, it still does that because they are really perpetrating colossal uncertainty by proposing only to extend the debt ceiling increase by 3 months. I mean, in a fragile recovery like the one we have, we need to have certainty. We need to pay our bills, and we need to send President Obama a clean debt ceiling increase.
You also will need to have a budget in place in order to come to that debt ceiling debate, as the Republicans have laid it out at this point. And you're also going to be dealing with the deficit and all of the other issues. So are you basically saying you don't think anything's changed here?
Well, no, I definitely think the Republicans have recognized that it's a political problem and a real problem if we jeopardize the full faith and credit of the United States, and that I'm not sure they get that we have to pay our bills. They seem to be confused if they've only proposed the increase for 3 months. A clean debt ceiling is really the only way to go. And down the road, when we get to March 2nd and the sequester deadline approaches again, we need to focus on a balanced approach to deficit reduction. That's what this election was about. The American people made a decision. They embraced President Obama's idea that we should have revenue and close tax loopholes, ask the wealthiest to pay a little bit more, and make sure that we can reduce spending in a balanced way.
Leaving aside the positions of both parties here, I think what people also hoped they were voting for was that Democrats and Republicans would get in a room together and would cooperate.
That's right.
And what I think a lot of people are concerned about is we're not seeing that happening yet. This is supposed to be a day when everything resets and we start over, but we have the same Congress. So everybody wants to know, is this going to change? Is there any hope of change?
I'm full of hope. I mean, I really think we have an opportunity here to continue to reach across the aisle. I know President Obama and Democrats in Congress hope that the Republicans are willing to reach back. We cannot begin this second term of President Obama's engaging in my way or the highway politics. I know that we're not going to get it all our way. The Republicans hopefully recognize that as well, and I'll assume that this 3-month extension is a sign that they realize that, and hopefully it's a sign of things to come. But we have to work together because we've got to get back to the #1 priority of creating jobs and to get this economy turned around.
The gun debate, given the timing of the Newtown shooting, has now become a big part of what the president says he'd like to accomplish in this second term.
Right.
How divisive do you think that may become between Republicans and Democrats?
Well, I hope it's not divisive between Republicans and Democrats. I hope it's not divisive at all. The idea that we lost 20 precious children really, I think, brought this issue to a head for the overwhelming majority of Americans. We'll hear this week in a task force, the gun control task force that Democrats have put forward, from a wide range of gun rights supporters and gun control advocates. And I think we need to come together as a country, as President Obama has said, and say enough.
All right. Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you very much.